field of 64, now down to 2. Eric Sidel and Annie Duke facing off in a best-of-3 championship final for the 2010 National Heads-Up Poker Crown.
Not that aggressive.
Annie Duke is this year's champ in 3.
Annie with King 10. She raises to 14,000. Sidel with Ace 6. Will call. Annie pairs her 10.
Sidel gonna lead out here. We've seen a lot of this from him in this event. Likes to take position away from his opponent by doing this. Annie, of course, not going anywhere with the 10.
Duke turns 2 pair. Sidel picks up a gut shot.
Annie definitely not going anywhere now.
Eric bets 40,000.
Not giving up on his line here. If Annie hadn't spiked a king in this situation, a 10 is a tougher hand to call with at this point.
She raises to 120,000.
Really no chance Eric's calling.
Seems like a very good hand. All right.
He folds.
Good start for Duke.
Nine-7 suited for Sidel.
That's the hand he used to finish Scotty off in the semis.
He limps in. Pocket jacks for Annie.
It was 9-7 offsuit that time. A little better here.
She raises to 21,000.
Speaking of better,
Eric calls.
getting a little less than 2-1 on that call, but there's plenty of play. Each player with over 100 big blinds to start, and you don't want to make the habit of limp folding.
Tray 8 king. Annie's jack still best. She bets 24,000.
No draws on this board.
Eric raises to 55,000.
Playing poker now, he's trying to bully what might be a big ace. Just a random continuation bet that hasn't connected with the board.
Annie re-raises to 174,000.
Now we're really playing poker. And he's basically representing ace king or better.
Eric calls.
No way. Eric is calling here, just floating with 9 high, hoping for a chance to take this pot away.
He picks up an open-ended straight draw. Annie checks.
Oh, she's going to shut it down, and I don't blame her. After Eric makes that call, you got to give him credit for a king. He doesn't have a draw on that board.
He bets 160,000.
Wow. This is poker on a high level, Craig.
550,000 in the pot. She folds. Sidel steals a huge one from Annie. Lines now 5 and 10,000.
I didn't
4
realize
deuce
that.
suited for Sidel. He limps in. 6-4 suited for Annie. She checks. Annie pairs her 6. Eric pairs his deuce.
Okay.
Looks like they're going to keep this pot a little smaller than the last one.
Trip 6s for Annie. Eric drawing dead, but he bets 10,000.
After Annie checks to him.
Annie raises to 25,000.
She wanted Eric to bet after she checked and give her an opportunity to do exactly what she's doing here. Eric making the call. Obviously not giving Annie credit there for having a 9 or a 6, and now he's filled up with the bottom full house. That's going to cause a dilemma.
Annie bets 50,000.
That would be pretty amazing.
Eric calls and sees that Annie has 6s full.
Never a good feeling when you call and your opponent shows you the one hand that you're hoping you don't see. Annie's not going to enjoy having seen those pocket jacks hit the mug. That's for sure.
Ace 10 for Eric. He limps in. 6-5 for Annie. She checks.
I gotta say, Eric Sidel has mixed it up better than anyone else in this tournament. Limping with big hands, raising with garbage, out of position, in position, just really never know where he's at.
After both players check the flop, Annie bets sixes with an open-ended straight draw. Eric with the nut flush draw. He calls. Annie makes her straight.
4 to a straight and 3 to a flush out there.
She bets 55,000.
And he bets 55,000 on the river.
Eric calls. Annie shows him the bad news.
Straight.
I'm a little surprised to see Eric call with tie here, but I do get it from one of her peers as she was coming up in the poker community.
Blinds are now at 15 and 30,000. Annie with ace king raises to 80,000. 8-6 suited for Sidel.
That's a lot of money.
He'll call.
And made a little comment before doing so. All those sorts of things could narrow his hand range in Annie's mind.
Annie pairs her king. Eric with the flush draw. He checks.
Real good looking flop for Annie.
Annie bets 100,000.
I'm all in.
Eric goes all in. Duke snap calls.
Here we go.
All in, calling, feature table.
And you got the ace of spades. That's very slimy.
Once again, I can only get my money in good.
And we're all in. Ace king, top
The
pair,
texture
top
of the
kicker,
board
ready?
allowed Annie to make that quick call. Obviously, she has a strong hand, but there's so many draws on the board. You know Eric would make a move like that with one of them.
Turn
Jack of
pairs the
hearts.
board. Sidel still searching for a spade, or else he's down 1-0 in our best of 3.
8 outs
Here's
once.
The ace ices it. Annie fades the spade, and her 2-pair takes the first of our best of 3 finals.
Too tough.
Oh, good.
Much too tough.
It's been fun so far. Can we stop now? Can we stop now and not play anymore? Because